Hey everybody, welcome back to the Avixa TV booth here at Infocomm 2024. You know, one of my favorite conversations every year, one of my favorite events every year is the Exertis Almo event. And I always love getting the chance to chat with Melody, who's my next guest at the show. Melody Craigmyle from Exertis Almo, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
Well, look, I kind of mentioned the event that you guys throw every year. It's sort of, I would say, almost the industry standard at this point for the event. But, you know, one of the things I love about the event is that every year you guys donate to charity or you make some sort of charitable donation and make that one of the core focuses of the event. You know, this year, what was sort of that mission and what was sort of that vision from a charity standpoint?
Yeah, Ben, the mission was to bring the charitable organizations closer to the crowd. We've always donated with a check and said, hey, learn more at this website. But what we did this year was a little bit different. We had a party at Dre's, as you know, and we had two cabanas. One was for Swim with Purpose, and also one was for Save AV. So people could actually go in and talk to the founders, to the organizers, and learn more about the charities, make a donation if they wish. So we really brought the charities to the crowd this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was incredible to see. I know, you know, that you guys do some incredible work behind the scenes as well, but it was cool to see that in-person side of things. So folks who may not get to be part of the day-to-day conversations get to see a lot of those conversations. But you also talked about SAVE. What is your role in the SAVE organization? What are some of the goals and missions of that organization as a whole?
Yeah, so this is a new organization, as you know, and globally, Exertis Almo is very much a proponent of sustainability, recycling, all sorts of initiatives for making the planet greener. And Save AV is an organization that's committed to upcycling, recycling AV equipment, a lot of which just unfortunately goes into landfills. And we are super excited to be a part of their upcoming conference, which is going to educate integrators on this process and their network, and also, just educate them on what are the options, what can they do to get involved and be more secure in their decisions of, when they do that installation, when they're taking out the old equipment, what do I do with this? And now they have an avenue to do so.
Well, Melody, one of the beautiful things about the conversations that SAVE is having is, talking to people in the community, right? We've got so many folks across different verticals and applications and use cases in our community, whether it's IT, whether it's healthcare, hospitality. So many people kind of coming in for the first time. And that's one of the things that I've really loved about Exertis Almo as you guys continue to expand is not only hey, we've got the wonderful Infocomm community here, but you guys have conversations about hospitality and drones and so many different divisions of our community. What are some of those places that you're seeing a lot of expansion and growth?
We are seeing the hospitality industry just grow exponentially. I mean, people obviously have been and are ready to travel, have been for a couple years now. We're seeing lots of technology refreshes go into the sleeping rooms, going into the lobby areas. I think one big thing that came out of COVID was people wanted what we call a frictionless transaction in the hotel lobby. They want to be able to walk up to the mini mart and just scan their stuff, take it straight to the room. They don't want to have to sit at the front desk and wait to check out. They want wayfinding. They want information on where they are locally and what attractions they could have, and we're putting in touch screens. So in conjunction with our other divisions, or the appliances division, which we call fixtures and furniture and equipment, we're also seeing people refresh, commercial refrigerators, and in the sleeping rooms, mini fridges, irons, you name it. We can supply all of that to the integrator on the hospitality side.
Well, obviously we're in Las Vegas, right? Everywhere you look, it's digital signage inside of a hotel with a casino and all these different things. And, historically those systems have been a little bit disparate. How is kind of Exertis Almo uniquely equipped to have a lot of those conversations that cross over maybe from the hospitality and that AV side of the world?
Well, I'm not going to say where I'm staying, but I can tell you that my TV was broken, and I'm an AV person. I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I saw the wires hanging down, and I was wondering what is going on here. So they called engineering to come up, and every TV in the property was broken. They had to individually come in and flash every unit.
Ugh.
So with our expertise in networking and the people that we have on board who can help design systems, and obviously we have our division that does design and drafting and networking engineering, so forth, we can help solve those pain points and provide such a better customer experience, like what, don't have to go through what I just had. I mean, my TV won't turn off, so.
Well, hopefully we somebody in this building can hopefully jump in and help fix it. But one of the cool things about seeing all these faces and different skill sets at Infocomm is you get to see a lot of people that you may not have seen at an Infocomm before. Even on the show earlier today, we had somebody from Pixar on the show. But that transcends all sorts of different industries, whether it's security, IT, we mentioned hospitality obviously as well. You guys are kind of having conversations with a lot of these folks and bringing them in for the first time, right? And what I'll say too, and what I'll spotlight is, you guys do such a great job locally as well, right? Infocomm's amazing, and there's such a great community here of people. It's such a critical part of our industry. But sometimes that local first touch is so important, whether it's an E4 event. But talk about how those local communities are so important to not only you guys, but our community as a whole.
Yeah, sure. So back to your point about adjacent industries, I had the privilege to serve on the AVIXA Leadership Search Committee, and that was one of the things that AVIXA was working very hard towards, was looking at adjacent industries to get involved in this, whether that was animation, architecture, workplace design, lots of different things. So when we're doing our local events, Ben, we are definitely looking at how can we bring in adjacent industries, because one of the biggest challenges our integrators are having are recruiting new talent. So we started a series of new events. We did a pilot program just a couple months ago in Atlanta. They're called plug-in events. So it's really about plugging into people, plugging into products, plugging into networking, and we're very much trying to create that community within AV, whether that is maybe you're coming in from security, maybe you're coming in from workplace design, or you're coming in from traditional AV. So that's our mission, and we had a tremendously successful event in Atlanta, and we're going to expand on those for next year.
Well, it's interesting. I love the approach of more a networking-centric kind of conversation versus maybe like an E4, right, which is very technology-centric. Obviously, there's networking and teaching and training, things like that, but I would say typically it skews towards the technology side of things. How are events like the plug-in event great for growth, not only from an industry growth standpoint, but from building those relationships, maybe even cross-manufacturer, service provider, distributor, things like that?
I think that the plug-in events are great because we have tried to make them extremely affordable for everybody to participate. Obviously, for the local audience, it's free to attend thanks to our sponsors. So there's really no barrier to entry. It's one day, it's local, they can drive, they can meet tons of new people, they can explore new options. And I think that's the beauty of what makes the plugins and the E4s, for that matter, a great event because, as much as we would like to see all of our customers here at Infocomm, sometimes that's just not feasible because they're very busy, they're doing installs, but one day out of the office, that's a little bit more palatable.
Especially locally too. I can drive to my nearest city. I'm in Dallas, and you guys have a lot of events in Dallas, but it's much easier for me to drive 30 minutes and try and hop on a plane for 4 days to go to Infocomm to meet the folks. Now I want to ask, I had the opportunity to kind of see some of the coverage of the first plug-in event. It was really incredible just to see a lot of the different faces of folks across the community. But one of the things that really stood out is that you guys embrace a lot of that intentional DEI conversation, whether it's bringing women into the industry or people from diverse backgrounds, even folks like Rob Voorhees having conversations about neurodivergence. How has that played into a lot of, whether it's the plug-in events or the E4 events, how has that conversation really played a large role into the benefit of Exertis Almo?
Well, I have to give it to our parent company, Exertis Almo. Globally, they've been doing some really great things with DE&I initiatives, including appointing somebody who is globally overlooking that initiative. But that trickles down to us. And what we've been doing at the E4 events is having different roundtables about DE&I. Rob Voorhees, who you just mentioned, one of our business development managers, he sits on those panels, and today he's teaching a class here about AV and autism. His daughter has autism, and sometimes AV professionals just don't think about the implications of neurodiverse people and what they can do, to make these installations more effective for the environment that these people need and crave.
Yeah, well, what's great about kind of the place and the space that you guys are in is that you're able and willing to have a lot of those conversations, not only from the dealer distributor side of things, but really acting as almost the user community, right? You get to speak on behalf, and a lot of times you get to speak on behalf of the user community back to the manufacturers. How important is that two-way communication, especially as you guys sort of sit in the middle there?
It is extremely important, and it's not just about advising them on the technology that they develop that the integrators are asking for, but it's also the simple thing. You would think that they would be simple, Ben, right? It's about how do we ship the DV LED walls that are so sensitive? How do we palletize those? How do we make sure that they have the right runs with the LED panels? And as a logistics company, that's what we do. That's what we provided. We provide the details to get them and get their installation done and right, whether that's all the correct mounting solutions, the DV LEDs, the audio, the speakers, whatever that might be. So that's really where we come in to help the dealers and integrators make their installations really successful.
You're kind of in a unique spot for a lot of people that find their way into the industry for the first time, because you have that expertise not only from a product and user standpoint, but from a channel and distribution side of things as well. Talk to me a little bit about, a lot of manufacturers find their way into the AV community for the first time and are looking for distribution or looking for representation. What does that kind of look like maybe from somebody initiating that conversation, maybe somebody from a different industry that's kind of finding their way into the world of AV for the first time? What does that look like for them?
Yeah, what that looks like is, starting out talking to our business development managers, we're pretty particular about who we bring on. We want to make sure they have the right value proposition for our channel. They have a unique product that's fitting into a void that we don't currently have. We're not in the business of collecting lines, but we want to make sure it's something that is going to be tangible for the integrators to use. It's going to be reliable. It has a great warranty, has great local support. All of those things are so key. It's just not about having the right box or the right flat panel. It's really around the business strategy that they can bring to our partners.
Well, I'll tell you, I've seen firsthand from a number of different folks that I work with regularly that that's the truth, right? You talk about people in the channel, and some people just kind of sit there and don't really do anything. That's the opposite for what you guys do. Not only are you doing great product promotion or in teaching and education and localized events, but you really are doing so many fantastic things for the AV community as a whole, and being willing to have conversations and localized events like E4 and the plug-in events. One thing I do want to ask as we kind of close here, what can people expect to see not only through the rest of this year, but maybe even going into 2025 before next year's Infocomm from you?
So for the rest of this year, we're going to be in Boston and we're going to be in Anaheim, and we with purpose plan our E4s on different coasts than where Infocomm is, because obviously we want everybody that's on the East Coast now to be here at the show with us. And then, like I said, later on in the year, we're going to be doing another plug-in event, and then going into 2025, we'll be doing more of those. But you can expect the same things from E4, the high-quality education, the CTSRUs that they're going to earn. We had record attendance this past spring. We had over 1,000 attendees. And, Ben, we issued over 1,000 CTSRUs.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Amazing. So we've got great instructors, great curriculum. So you can expect to see, the same 40 to 45 exhibitors, those CTS classes, all the same things people have come to love and know about E4.
Well, Melody, I'll tell you what, we've sort of made this an annual tradition at this point, and obviously 2024's Infocomm is no exception. It's been incredible to have you on and not only see you throughout a few different places at the show, but have this conversation with you. I appreciate you spending some time with me today.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. There's no way that I would have missed Infocomm.
Oh, well, I'll take a shameless plug anytime I can get one. It was great to have you on, Melody. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.